Hello everybody, my name is Kyle McMahon, and today I'm going to be discussing who I think will be nominated and who I think will potentially win for Album of the Year at the 2025 Grammys. I made 8 picks for who I think will get the nominations, and I'm just going to go through them and explain why I believe that they will get nominated next year. The first person I chose was Beyonce for Cowboy Carter. So Beyonce is the most awarded artist in history at the Grammys. She has 32 wins and 88 nominations. She has been nominated for Album of the Year 5 times, but has never won. I think because of the status that she has in the past, this will definitely push her forward as being a top contender for Album of the Year this year. Texas Hold'em going #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 definitely helps as well. That definitely gives some validity to her success and will push this album later in the season to get her that Album of the Year nomination. Next up, I have Billie Eilish for her album, which is yet to be named. Billie is coming off a very strong award season for her song What Was I Made For. It won the Oscar for Best Original Song and then won the Grammy for Song of the Year and Best Song for Visual Media. And then lastly, she won for the Golden Globe for Best Original Song. Her last 2 albums, Happier Than Ever and When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, were both nominated for Album of the Year. And her debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, was actually won the award that year, where she swept the Grammys and won Best New Artist, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Album of the Year. I think it'd be very hard for her not to get a nomination just because Happier Than Ever did not win anything, so I think they're going to reward her in that sense. Next up, I have Taylor Swift for Tortured Poets Department. I think it's obviously very unlikely that Taylor Swift doesn't get a nomination this year. She's a powerhouse nationally and internationally. She takes over the charts. Her albums go #1 every single time. She has won Album of the Year 4 times, more than anybody else in history. She's won for Fearless, Folklore, and then last year for Midnights. This year she's releasing her album Tortured Poets Department, which I think will obviously get a nomination, but I don't think it's going to win this year just because she's coming off that win from last year. Next up, I have Vampire Weekend for Only God Was Above Us. So I think this is going to be the alternative pick that is chosen this year. They did this last year for Lana Del Rey's Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard and Boy Genius's The Record. Those were kind of the 2 alternative picks that they went with, both very, very solid choices. So they've won Best Alternative Music Album 2 times with their albums Father of the Bride and Modern Vampires of the City, and then Father of the Bride was actually nominated for Album of the Year in 2020, but they did not win. I think because they're coming off their last album being so successful and doing very well during the award season, I don't see them not getting a nomination, and that would be the nice pick that they go with. Next up, I have Ariana Grande for her album Eternal Sunshine. So Ariana Grande has been nominated for Album of the Year 1 time for her album Seven Rings, which was a huge controversy that year. Billie Eilish ended up winning for When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? But many people believe that Ariana deserved it. She's been nominated 15 times, only won twice, one with Lady Gaga for Rain On Me with Best Pop Vocal Duo Performance, and Sweetener winning Best Pop Vocal Album. She's been nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album 4 times, and I think that's really going to push her forward because her vocals are so strong. She did not get a nomination for Positions for Album of the Year, so that's why I was a little hesitant putting her in this, but Eternal Sunshine is doing so much better, and Yes and We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Love both went #1 on Billboard, which will definitely push it in the charts and allow it to go bigger, and it actually was #1 in the world too as the album. Next up, I have Casey Musgraves for Deeper Well. Casey Musgraves won Album of the Year for Golden Hour in 2019. It was the first ever country album made by a woman to ever win the award. She kind of dominates the country genre when it comes to the Grammys. She's won Best Country Album 2 times for Golden Hour, and then Same Trailer, Different Park, but she's had 3 nominations for that. She wasn't nominated for her album Starcross, which was released in 2021, so that's why I was a little hesitant, but Deeper Well is doing substantially better in the charts, and it actually went #2 on Billboard, which is the same thing that happened with Golden Hour, and it had a bigger debuting week than Golden Hour, so I see her definitely getting the pick this year for Album of the Year.